Kid Diper Overlode by JeffKinney. Part 6, page 182 to 217. The ending of the book. Monday. Things haven't been going good with the band since Roderick and Bill had their big blow-up. Bill realized he made a mistake splitting up with Becky, and the next day he tried to get her back, but she stopped taking his calls, and now she won't even take his coffee orders at the donut shop. Hello? Hello? So now Bill's totally heartbroken, and he's been skipping practices, and even when he does show up, he can't get through a song without breaking down into his, You're my diaper ignited, and you lit me with your lighter, and I'm the only flame is growing, and you're only getting your brighter. Roderick hasn't exactly shown Bill a lot of sympathy. He says that Bill has got to pull himself together if Load the Diaper is going to win the battle of the bands. But it seems like the competition is the last thing on Bill's mind. So Bill's angry at Roderick, and the other guys in the band have kind of had it with him too. Monkey's getting tired of the 2-a-day practices, and True's angry Booksy really liked those free donuts from Becky. Right in the middle of their big fight, Mum came downstairs with a letter that was addressed to Roderick, and from the first page it looked official. Taylor and Fitch, attorneys at law, via certified mail. Stuart Taylor, Taylor and Fitch, the Clark Building, 400 Canal Street. Keys and desist. The letter was from a lawyer who says he represents a company that used to publish a line of trading cards called the Revolting Runts. I guess those trading cards were super popular back when my parents were kids, and the characters definitely lived up to their name. The reason the lawyer sent the letter was because one of the Revolting Runts character was called Loaded Diaper, and apparently it was one of their most popular cards. The lawyer said that even though the Revolting Runts went out of print a long time ago, the company still owns a trademark to the characters. And he says that if Loaded Diaper doesn't change its name, the company is going to sue the band for monetary damages. After Roderick finished reading the letter out loud, the guys seemed pretty kind of shaken up, but Roderick said he wasn't gonna change Loaded Diaper's name because it was some stupid letter, and if they stayed strong they could fight this thing. But none of the guys had the stomach for an expensive legal fight, and they seemed happy to let Roderick deal with this one on his own. Friday. I never would have guessed that a trading cards company would be the thing to break up Loaded Diaper, but it looks like that's exactly what happened. Ever since Roderick got that letter, the other guys have steered clear of our house. So with the Battle of the Bands just a week away, Roderick's been trying to recruit new band members to fill the empty slots. Loaded Diaper number 2. Open auditions. 12 Surrey Street. Tomorrow, Roderick's room and basement. But nobody even showed up for the first round of auditions, so Roderick put up a new flyer promising free beats to anyone who tried. Free pizza for anyone who auditions for Loaded Diaper, 12 Surrey Street, Friday. And even though the new ad got people to come to the house, it seemed like it drew a lot more pizza lovers than actual musicians. A handful of people who showed up had some musical talent, but none of them were a good fit for Loaded Diapers style of music. And unless Roderick's gonna start writing songs that feature harmonicas and glockenspiels, he's probably gonna have to keep looking. But the slot Roderick was most worried about was the lead singer position, because there aren't a lot of people out there who can hit the high notes on Explode the Diaper and the low ones on Down the Drain. Roderick's Loaded Diaper is not the only band looking for a new lead singer though. Word got around that the new lead singer of Stank blew out his vocal cords during one of their shows, so now they're scrambling to find a replacement too. And from their flies, it looks like they're willing to offer people a lot more than a few slices of pizza to come out and audition. Stank wants you $50 per audition. City Armory. Saturday, 8 to 11 p.m. April. Wednesday. Well, it didn't take long for Stank to find their new lead singer, and I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised by who it was. The only thing that did surprise me was that they had to do to get their guy, because from the look of their new post, I'm guessing Bill and Becky came as a package deal. Now that Bill is a member of Stank, Roderick is even more obsessed with winning the competition, and I think he'd do just about anything to walk away with first prize. The problem is he still hasn't found anyone to take the place of his old band members, so he's moved on to plan B, but which unfortunately involves me. Well, not just me, Drew's brother and Roderick's friend Ward are part of the plan too. Even though none of us have any musical talent, Roderick thinks he can train us to play Diaper Overlode in time for the competition. But 3 days into his rehearsals, it's not looking so good. Roderick says that in rock and roll band, it's 20% talent and 80% attitude, so he's been trying to teach the three of us how to look like we belong on stage. Mum even bought us outfits for the show, which I guarantee none of us will be wearing. So at this point I'm praying Roderick comes up with a plan C and I'm not a part of it. Saturday. When I woke up this morning, the first thing I remembered was that it was the day of the battle of the bands. I had already decided I didn't want to be involved, and my goal was to be as far away as possible when the competition started. But Roderick must have sensed that I was going to get cold feet, and he wouldn't let me squirm out of it. Drew's brother and Ward got to our house just after lunch to help load up Roderick's van with equipment, but I really wish Roderick had got those back doors fixed because it was no fun getting everything into the vehicle. On our way to the arena, I had a sick feeling in my stomach. I could barely play 2 chords on the guitar, and Ward couldn't remember half the words to load the diaper overload. And I guess Drew's brother was nervous about the whole thing too, because he had to breathe into a paper bag to keep himself from passing out. But Roderick told us we'd be fine once we got out on stage, and we just needed to trust him. But then we were pulling up to the arena, and there was no turning back. People were selling merchandise in the concourse, and Stank had a big table set up near the entrance, and somehow Becky had managed to get bobbleheads made in time for the event. But Becky wasn't the only familiar face inside the arena. Warwick's Splinter had a table there too, but it didn't seem like his stuff was selling. We even looked for the backstage entrance when Roderick spotted someone else we'd seen before, and I don't know what the Hippo Henry's security guard was doing so far from the restaurant, but it didn't seem like a good idea to go up to him and ask. We finally found our way backstage, and which was a total zoo. Most of the bands were already there, and the space was way too small for everyone. Stank walked in a few minutes before the competition started, and they really lived up to their name because they smelled like they hadn't had a shower in weeks. I could tell Roderick wanted to go up to Bill and say something, but he was swarmed by music journalists, so Roderick couldn't get close to him, and it was pretty clear Bill was saving his voice for his big performance. Anyway, there was a screen in one corner of the room that listed all the bands in order when they were scheduled to perform, and I was pretty disappointed that Loaded Diaper was dead last, because all I wanted to do at that point was get the over with and go home. But Loaded Diaper wasn't the only band that was performing at the end of the competition. Stank was scheduled to go on right before us. That meant we had to hang out with Bill and his new bandmates backstage, which was really awkward. So when the competition started, I decided to slip out of the side door and watch the show from the wings. There were at least 1,000 people in the audience, which made me feel queasy all over again. And they already start getting rowdy before the competition even started. When the first band came on stage, the crowd went totally nuts, and they didn't let up for the rest of the night. All the bands sounded the same to me, but the audience didn't seem to mind. Everybody was there to have a good time, including the security guard from Hippo Henry's, who I guess was just there as a fan. The bands were all way more professional than Loaded Diaper, and I'm guessing most of these groups did this full time. So I could tell that we were out of our league in this competition. I thought about making a run for it to save myself the embarrassment of having to perform, but at that point, it didn't seem right to ditch Roderick. I knew the time for Loaded Diaper to go up there was getting close when Stank took the stage. I thought they'd come out and tear into one of their big hits because that would have definitely made the crowd go wild. But Bill came out by himself and sat down at a piano. And when he started playing a slow song, the crowd didn't seem to know how to react. But it was just a big fake out, because when the rest of the band stepped on stage and launched into a speed metal version of Becky, the audience was totally eating it up, and I knew right then that Stank had this competition in the bag, and that was before Becky started tossing her donuts into the audience. I should have been a little more careful about how close I was to the crowd though, because the next thing I knew I was part of it. I guess I kind of let myself get swept up in the moment, because for a second I forgot I was supposed to be on stage next. When I saw Roderick at the stage door, I remembered why I was there. We had a minute to get ready backstage, so me and the other two guys tried to talk Roderick into just accepting defeat and letting Stank win the competition, but Roderick was too stubborn to go down without a fight. So when the announcer called Loaded Diaper's name, 3 of us followed Roderick out on stage. The stage light was so bright that I couldn't see past the first 3 rows of the audience. My locked eyes with the guy from Hippo Henry's, and I could tell he recognized me. I wanted to run, but I felt trapped up there. And when Roderick started playing the drum into intro to Diaper Overload, I knew I had to just grit my teeth and get through the next 3 minutes. But then something weird happened. When I started playing the guitar chords, Roderick taught me I sounded way better than I did during practice, and Drew's brother had somehow got a lot better too. When Ward opened his mouth to sing, it was Bill's voice that came out of the speakers, and suddenly it all made sense. Roderick plugged his music player into the sound system, and that was coming through the speakers was the version of Diaper Overload. The guys recorded in that studio back in December. That meant me and Drew's brother were only pretending to play, and Ward was just lip-syncing to Bill's vocals. And once Ward realized he didn't have to sing for real, he started to actually enjoy himself. Nobody in the crowd seemed to notice that we were faking it, but I guess I started to have a little bit of fun too. I couldn't really blame Roderick for using a pre-recorded track for the competition, because even after we had 3 months to practice, we never could have pulled it off. So everything was going great, and I thought we might actually have a shot at winning the whole thing. But then it all came crashing down. Halfway through the song, Bill stopped singing and started coughing, and Wood didn't know what to do, and so he just tried to keep up as best as he could. That's when I realized that Roderick had accidentally played the first version of the song they recorded, right after Bill got a guitar pick stuck in his windpipe. But it was too late to switch over to the good version of the song, and when the sound of Bill's drinking water came through the speaker, the crowd finally noticed something was off. It seemed like a good time to get out of there, but we couldn't leave the stage because someone was standing in our way. It was some guy wearing a suit and holding a manila envelope which he handed to Roderick. It turns out this guy was a lawyer from the trading card company, and he was there to officially deliver Roderick the news that his company was taking Load the Diaper to court. But then things got a whole lot weirder, because the Hippo Henry security guard was suddenly on stage and closing in fast. I just froze because I didn't know if this guy was going to arrest me or what. But the security guard blew right past me and walked up to the lawyer and then started arguing with him about something. And a few seconds later, Sebastian Sleeves climbed out of the crowd to join in the conversation. I had no idea what was going on, but then when Warwick Sprinter appeared from backstage and started going at it with the other three, I finally put it all together. The 4 guys standing on stage were the original members of Millet Chihuahua. And I guess they had a lot of things they needed to get off their chests, because it got really heated up there. But then the crowd realized that they were witnessing which was the first Millet Chihuahua reunion in 25 years, and everybody started going bananas. I think all the cheering took the members of Millet Chihuahua off guard, because they stopped talking, and when the cheers got even louder, the ex-bandmates knew what they had to do, so they grabbed our instruments and totally blew the roof off the place. Millet Chihuahua ripped through their greatest hits, and then they played an encore, and the only reason they didn't play a second encore is because they had already smashed our instruments to bits. Thursday. So Millet Chihuahua became the first band to ever win Battle of the Bands twice. The competition vaulted them back to the top of the charts, and they even planning a world tour. I heard that Drew took his brother's old job at the deli counter and that Mackie's got accepted to a school for robotics, so maybe he'll finally figure out how to get the monkey paw off his leg. After the competition, Stank didn't need Bill anymore, so they fired him. But luckily, Loaded Diaper was in the market for a new lead singer, so I guess it worked out for everyone. It looks like it might be a while before my services are needed again, which is totally fine with me because I've definitely had my fill of the rock and roll lifestyle. I hope you liked my reading of Diary of Wimpy Kid Diper Overlode. So please subscribe.